I hit 1 billion GDP in under 20 years. So how did I do it? Well, let's let past Connor explain. We're starting out by researching nationalism because we need it in order to form Turtle Island, which is part of this strategy. We're also going to be demanding a treaty port in Veracruz from the Mexicans. And we're also going to start building some construction, as you know, that's typically what you would do in order to try to maximize GDP. Now Mexico is going to accept that treaty port. I know that's going to happen because I've tested the save and that's what happened previously on this save. Now that we've got that treaty port in Mexico, we're going to declare an interest in Canada and the Great Plains because we want to fight a war against the Hudson Bay Company. Oh, also in the Pacific Coast. It is time to conquer the Hudson Bay Company for Turtle Island strats. We got to conquer the Hudson Bay Company, and we're also going to be transferring the subject of Lower Canada because we need to get market access in here, and that's the only realistic way that I can see to get market access. Yeah, we're going to conquer all of the Hudson Bay Company. Okay, I'm pretty sure I have every war goal that we want against the UK in here, so that's pretty good. Now we're just going to start mobilizing our army. We'll put a bunch of conscripts into this army, I guess. You know, that would be somewhat useful. And then we'll also add a bunch of mobile artillery conscripts, and then start raising the conscripts. And we're going to raise the rest of our army as well, because they will help us out with winning the war. Then we're going to disband this navy. We're going to move this admiral over. Then we're going to promote you to level 5, and we're going to put you into the English Channel for now. I had USA join against me last time. Oh, there they go. Yeah, USA is joining against us in this play, which is, you know, kind of unfortunate, but what's the USA going to do against us? We're going to start a naval invasion of the Highlands. They've got their navy guarding us here. Is evil of them. We might just want to try to land into Ireland to avoid having to deal with their navy, which is very evil, you know. Yeah, we just get into Ireland. That's more convenient. Then we're gonna go grab some Lancers as a separate army, put them on rapid advance so they can push through much faster, because fast is good. Now that we've set that up, we should be able to land much, or we should be able to push through here much faster. We're already here, and our 1 battalion just keeps pushing. Yep, now we're here to here, winning more battles, because we've got the numbers advantage. And we're gonna start a naval invasion on Newfoundland. Oh, our army's in a naval battle, but oh, it's another one. Okay, now we can send a naval invasion. We're naval invading into Canada right now. We're also trying to hold our ground in the UK, but that is not going very well. We probably just want to try to go on defense, at least on most of our armies, because we are having significant morale problems due to British convoy raiding. We're lacking org, so in order to land, we're going to cancel the naval invasion, split one cavalry into a different battalion, and then start a naval invasion with that cav, which will then be able to land because cavalry, the lower org maximum org, and you just need to be at maximum org. You don't actually have to be at 100 org. So when it goes back down to 25 org, that's the maximum, and so it is able to successfully land. Pushing through Hudson Bay Company right now. We just need to occupy this and stuff, and Britain is being enforced upon right now, which is pretty good. What in the world is this? These are broken events, seemingly. Okay, that one isn't a broken event, actually. What's going on with the USA here? Is their whole military over in the UK? I guess. Okay, we're 21 acceptance away from the UK accepting. Now, we need to declare an interest in the North Sea, and we're pretty close to the UK just accepting, so we're going to be waiting for that. Oh, it just dropped even more. I think short duration of war just disappeared or something. Anyway, 2 more ticks and we should be able to peace out. Let's propose the peace deal now. And we've got our great borders. Now we're going to start a colony in Manitoba. And we should be getting unisolated. Oh, is there no port in Quebec? No, there is. How are we isolated then? That doesn't make any sense. Shouldn't be isolated. Oh, it's low shipping lane effectiveness. I forgot about this modifier pretty much completely, but it should go away fairly soon. Minus 180% from convoy rating? That's crazy. Anyway, we're going to take Greenland from Denmark. Wow, they reject giving us Greenland. Unacceptable Greenland, or unacceptable Denmark. How could you do this? We'll just add in some more war goals, and it's pretty likely that they'll just back down, actually. Probably. Like if we just add 1 million, yep, they back down. Good. Now we've got Greenland. Finally, I actually have market access, so our colony on Manitoba is nearly finished. And yep, there it goes. The colony is now done. So we are now able to release Metis, which is very important for this strategy. We're 5 months away from researching nationalism, which is when we're going to be releasing. I think I was wrong in my tests before. I didn't actually need to take Quebec. I think that this would have worked. I just thought it didn't work because I had like low shipping lane effectiveness, I bet. Now we're going to release Greenland as a subject. Then we're going to grant them French Quebec and also French Ontario. Then we're going to release and play as Metis. Where's Metis? There it is. Oh, we're also going to grant these guys independence first. So then we want to release and play as Metis. Where is that? There it is. Release and play as independent Metis. Then we're going to begin improving relations, and we also want to bankroll this eventually, but we can't yet. We're also going to begin improving relations with the United States of America. And in terms of tech, we're going to rush all the good techs in terms of GDP maxing. Now, I think we should become an unrecognized regional power, maybe. No, okay. Anyway, we can proclaim Turtle Island. Oh, that's how we get to become an unrecognized regional power. That makes us an empire rank, yeah. Now we can begin bankrolling Greenland, which will give us more relations with them faster. We're also going to guarantee their independence for even more relations faster. We have now hit 25 relations with Greenland, so we can now annex them, giving us the Inuit culture. For some reason, it doesn't give you the Danish culture though, but to fix that, we can simply re-release Greenland, grant them Turtle Islander Quebec, grant them Turtle Islander Ontario, grant them independence, then re-annexing them. This time it successfully gives us Danish. Then we can annex France, and that's going to make us very strong. We also somehow get 2 achievements from that, 3. I'm going to start incorporating all of France that we've now just gotten for free for doing that, because we annex France through that button, because they share European heritage after we got Danish culture. Now we need to get 25 relations with the UK and USA to annex them. We're also going to try to improve with Russia, because we want to get, what's it called? We want to get recognition from someone. We need to get countries to rivalry for more influence to improve with people. Actually, have a natural interest in Zanj, so we should be able to rival countries there, right? No, rank difference does not allow for a rivalry. How is there like no one in the world we can rival? Anyway, we're going to build an absurd amount of construction sectors because I have a plan to pay for them. I believe in it. It'll work great, I believe. Oh, okay, our interest hadn't appeared yet. Now we can rival a bunch of countries for more influence so that we can start improving relations with more people. So let's begin improving relations with you, you. I think that's pretty much all the important ones. Let's also begin improving relations with other great powers, I guess. Never mind, I've changed my mind. We don't want to improve relations with Russia, because I think we're going to do some liberations on Russia, which will be very important. So we're going to declare an interest in East Siberia for that. America offers us a trade agreement that will help us get more relations on them faster for faster annexation, so we will take it. We are running out of construction sectors in the queue. Let's build more. Don't worry about our negative balance. It's not a problem. You'll see why very soon. Okay, we've just hit 25 relations with the USA, so we can now confederate with them, giving us even more money. It's time to activate Money Printer. So I'm going to show here for Money Printer, all we need to do is simply release the USA as independent, then confederate with the USA, and you'll notice our debt is 12 million. Now that we've done that once, now let's just do it again real quick. Release the USA as independent, annex them. Now you'll notice we have 6 million debt. Yeah, this is a perfectly balanced strategy. I'm gonna spam a couple of construction sectors, given that, yeah, money isn't really a thing. We just hit 25 relations with Mexico, so we can now annex them. We're nearly out of money again, so you know what that means. It's time to annex the USA over and over again for infinite free money. This is the last time I'm going to show doing this, but just know I'm constantly doing this in order to clear out my debt. I think we've got a sufficient amount of construction now, so what we're going to start doing is decide on a couple states, name a bunch of railways. Actually, we shouldn't do it in the USA, because the USA is what we're using to make infinite money right now, so it's going to be a little bit of annoying. So we're just going to start out by doing it in France. Or maybe, yeah, let's just do it in France, I guess. We're going to build like 5 railways in Rhone and stuff, and 5 railways in Alsace-Lorraine. Then we can just build a giant iron mine, coal mine, and this will be pretty useful. In fact, we should probably build these like huge because we've got a lot of construction. We've hit 25 relations with Quebec, so we can just grant them independence and then annex them. We're going to host a British power block embassy, and we're also going to give them a trade agreement and investment rights because we want to try to get our relations up with the UK ASAP so we can annex them. We've hit 25 relations with the UK, so we can now annex them as well. I'm in default, but that's nothing that a couple of America releases can't fix. So we didn't get India as a subject when we annexed the UK. I think that's because we're unrecognized. I've just discovered something huge. Based on reading this here, you might think that the country you need to annex has to be in one of these strategic regions. You would be wrong. As you can see here, effects, Turtle Island will annex Prussia. You can see we can't click it, but you can see that that's the effect. But there's a way we can bypass the fact that we can't click it. Let's say we release Ontario. Now you can see this button is clickable. You might wonder why this is happening. So my understanding, I have actually not really much idea why the requirements to show up here aren't being the same requirements that these are, but I don't know what's causing that. What I do know is that this is sorting by highest GDP country, or highest GDP country that we border and has over 25 relations and shares a heritage culture. For some reason it isn't sorting with this one in mind. So we can annex Prussia, then that gives us a land border with Austria, so we can annex Austria, and then also Baden, and then finally Ontario gets annexed as well. Now, due to figuring this out, we are changing our strategy up quite a lot, and we're beginning to improve relations with Russia and Qing. The original plan was to fight Russia, because I didn't think we were going to be able to give them a tile in North America. But now that we know this, now that we have a border with them in Europe, all we need is 25 relations with them, and we can annex them. So we're going to declare a ton more rivalries because more influence is more countries we can improve relations with is more annexations. So all the countries in the world must become our rivalry so that we can then improve relations with even more of the world. All shall become friends of the Turtle Island. Gotta love the fact that we now have the Schleswig-Holstein question because we annexed Germany. It's time for more construction sectors. All the construction must be built in Germany. All of it must be built. Our evil subject is keeping us in a revolt, stopping us from getting out of bankruptcy. Well, they should finish their revolt pretty soon, and now we can fix our bankruptcy. Belgium is a great power, what? Now, we just hit 25 relations with Texas, which now lets us annex Belgium. Of course, this doesn't make any sense, but as we explained before, it just works. Same thing goes for Guatemala. Guatemala makes a bit more sense, but it's not within these strategic regions. We're going to keep Texas alive as the country we do this with forever. We've now hit 25 relations with Russia, so we can annex them. And then we can also do some shenanigans here by releasing the Far East from Russia, which will give us a East Asian primary culture, which is going to be, or it's going to give us North Asian, which will let us annex Qing, which will give us East Asian. Let me go look for that. Here it is, Far East. We're going to release them as independent, and then we can do the trick to annex the Far East. That gives us now a new primary culture, Siberian, which is North Asian. So we now share a heritage with Qing. Once we get them to 25, we can annex them. Oh, we hit 25 relations with a new batch of countries. Honduras, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Costa Rica. Nice. Are we at like Bolivia and stuff? Not quite. Okay, we just hit 25 relations with Qing, so that means we annexed Qing. Although that just gave us Manchu, which is not the right culture. Let's re-release Qing to try to get Han as a primary culture, just for the fun. Let's see if we can find them. China. We'll look for the China releasable. There it is. We'll release as independent. Now we can annex Great Qing. This will give us Manchu, but I assume it gave us Han. Oh, did we get Han the first time? Maybe. I'm starting to incorporate a bunch more states. I realize we probably should have been doing this for a while. Nah, that's crazy. We get the opium crisis. Actually, this might be a good thing for us, because when we complete this, it gives you like legitimacy and minus mortality and stuff. We've now got a much better releasable to use to lower our debt with China. China is insane, you know, it's got so many people in it that if we just release China a couple times, that should like basically completely fix our debt situation. I've tried fighting a recognition war against Bengal, but we just lose, or we can't win in time before we go into default. So we're just gonna give up on that. We're just gonna annex Spain and Portugal and stuff. You know, we'll get a bunch more easy annexations here going. That's big nice. There, Otherwise, we'd have some problems. Oh, great. We've made it into Middle Eastern culture somehow. I like that quite a lot. Okay. Why are we not able to annex Egypt? We don't have plus 25 with them. Why are we? Oh, we're rivals to them. Okay, that makes sense. Well, we now own quite a bit of the world. We just need to grow our GDP by a factor of 3 somehow. Our GDP has been consistently falling after we annex countries. I think that's just due to our market having a ton of shortages. Hopefully we can fix that. I just turned up our iron PM and we made like 30 million more GDP. All the other PMs are generally lowering GDP, but the iron PM is increasing GDP because we have so much iron demand. It looks like we finally have started growing our economy. Oh, more countries to annex. We get Venezuela. We're just quickly resetting our debt by releasing China over and over again right now. We're going to slot in Baclau Vaughan and Co., and that's going to give us a steel, coal, and iron company. And you know what that means. We're on interventionism, aren't we? Let's go quickly check. Yes, we are indeed on interventionism. So we can now start privatizing these buildings, and we're going to start getting lots and lots of company ownership. I forgot we should be subsidizing the whole game, or privatizing the whole game, but this is actually really good because our company is going to get so much ownership. Then we can nationalize the building levels that get owned by other companies and keep repeating that. Or not other companies, other private companies, or other financial districts that aren't the correct ones. Now we need to start privatizing tools as well because we've got a tool company. We're renationalizing all the steel mills owned by privately owned buildings, and we're going to do that for all the other industries as well. This is how you do that. We click financial districts here, and click nationalize. So for some reason, this company isn't really expanding, which is a bit of a problem. This company just can't seem to get anything. I know right now it has 0 productivity, but that's just because we don't have railways here. It had productivity for a long time. Oh, we can now annex the Papal States and all of Italy pretty much. Ait Abbas. Oh, somehow we got African culture, I guess? Or is Ait Abbas, got not African culture? I'm assuming that they have African heritage or something and we just don't have 25 relations with any other Africans we border yet. Oh, the company has finally started growing. That's good. Well, I guess it's time to start doing some mass nationalizations and then reprivatizations of stuff in order to try to increase company market share. We've got 53 million in the investment pool because of that, so we should be able to get some pretty good expansions on our various industries, or on our privatization should go crazy right now, right? Looks like it's mostly trying to expand instead of privatize, which is a little bit surprising. Did all the privatizing happen instantly or something? Let's take a look at our levels of companies. It looks like it did like double instantly or something. We can now annex Korea by after granting them independence. Can we now grant Japan a state in Korea and then hopefully annex them? Yeongnam or something? Go ahead and look for that. Looks like they don't want it, so it's going to be a bit tricky to get to Japan. Should we colonize the Sakhalin? Oh, we don't have an interest in Japan. We can try colonizing Sakhalin. I don't know if that gives us a border or not. We probably should have moved our market capital to the old world at some point, but that's a bit of a mistake. So we're going to build ports, because if we move it now, we're going to have throughput penalty, and we won't be able to isolate our market. I don't even know if isolating our market is going to be useful, but I think it will probably be. The reason I don't know if it will be is because we do have just so much, we have infinite money, so we can kind of just make prices super high anyway. Oh, we just completed the opium crisis. That gives us the end of addiction, which makes every single culture in our country stop being obsessed with opium. Click the top option in that event. What country? Oh, we can annex Mascara. Nice. Another country in North Africa annexed. After creating colony and then disbanding colony over and over again on Sakhalin, we just got it in the bottom tile, which means we can now annex Japan like that. We can grant Bolivia or Peru independence and then annex them. Is there anyone else who we can annex like that? Yep, we can annex Norway like that real quick. We annex Finland like that as well. Yes, so grant them independence. Offer Confederation. Grant Luxembourg independence. And then offer Confederation. Moldavia, are you at 25 or above? Not quite. Krakow is too small to be annexed with Cherokee. We need a smaller releasable. Pueblo is that smaller releasable. I think with Pueblo we should be able to annex a bunch of smaller ones. Apparently Frankfurt is bigger than them. Yeah, you can see Pueblo is so low GDP that we're able to annex a bunch of much smaller ones. Grain prices in our market are getting really, really high, so I'm going to spam a ton of rice farms in China to try to fix grain prices. We can also build a giant fertilizer plant somewhere where we have sulfur. Kursk is getting a giant fertilizer plant. One thing I actually haven't looked at yet is how is migration doing? Let's take a look at the migration map mode. Looks like we're getting quite a bit of migration into North America, and we're also getting a bunch of migration into our good states of Europe. I'm going to grant the Philippines a tile in China, then we're going to grant them independence. Then we should be able to offer confederation with the Philippines. That's an extra like 12 million GDP they had. I'm starting subsidizing our industries because we're getting very close, so I think subsidizing our industries will help upgrade employment, and more employment will be better once we isolate our market capital to get the last little bit of GDP. Okay, it's time to market isolate to hit a billion GDP. First of all, before we do that though, we're going to export steel. Or sorry, yeah, we're going to export steel, correct. So we're going to export a little bit of steel to various countries because we want steel prices to be high. Then we're going to market isolate, moving our market capital to Corsica. And we're going to delete the port in Corsica and in the state next to Corsica in case this port will work for it too. And we're going to delete a bunch of industries in these states to make prices super high. And this will inflate our GDP because GDP is based on market prices, not state prices. This is why your GDP generally does not go up when you increase your MAPI, even though your industries become more productive. And we're going to be deleting most of the industries in these states in order to make everything give more GDP, because everything will be at like plus 75% price, except for tools, which are going to be kept artificially cheap, make our industries more productive, because tooling itself is not that profitable, or it is pretty profitable, but it's not profitable enough. Now we're going to look through our trade routes, and we're going to cancel most import trade routes, most of them. There's a couple that we can keep, but we don't want to keep most. Let's look through here. We want to keep the exports of steel. We want to keep the imports of tools, actually. It's fine that we deleted a couple. With the imports of iron, or of wood. And now we just need to wait till the next Monday. Let's see what our GDP goes up to. 1.09 billion. And so, with that, we've hit a billion GDP. We can take a look at what market prices ended up letting us get here. You can see plus 75% on wood, iron, luxury furniture, coal, a bunch of stuff at plus 75. Now we can look at our GDP map mode, and this isn't very helpful. Let's actually look at the top states by sorting by global GDP here. Quickly sort by GDP contribution. Midlands at 20 million GDP, so you can see our GDP is very unconcentrated.